Bonjour mes amis et bienvenue and welcome to another segment here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. Today we're going to accent spring because right now in France they are beginning to harvest the elderflower petals that are needed in this fantastic drink that is going to be the star of our show today, Saint-Germain. So with that said, I have assembled here for you a number of props that we're going to need to get started on our little journey through Paris in springtime. So let me first of all begin by saying, for those of you that have been following me, in May of 2021, when I first started, I did my second spot of over 100, and now this is my 120th spot here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. And what I featured as my first liqueur or spirit spot was this Saint-Germain. I promise I'll post it for you because I know a number of you were not along for the ride when I first got started. I started with a very, very small group of followers, if any. We're up to over 60 now. And you'll get to see a replay of that clip. I actually did it outside. Today it's a little bit cloudy, so I didn't want to ruin the spot by going out onto a cloudy day. So what I'd like to do is recap for you what I did that day, and then we're going to get into talking a little bit about Saint-Germain, and we're going to make a new drink that is new to me, but that has always been something that Saint-Germain has recommended to make, and it's become my new house favorite cocktail. So with that said, back in May of 2021, I introduced you all to Saint-Germain, and I'm sure some of you are already quite familiar with it. But my point here is, again, to educate. Maybe you'll learn something here you don't know about Saint-Germain. So before I do that, though, I want to tell you that the popular drink, the iconic drink made with Saint-Germain is called the Saint-Germain Spritz. And in 2021, when I made it, I used bubbly. But I did mention to you then, you could use dry white wine. So today I put aside the bubbly for now, and I just used the dry white wine. It's actually a Chablis from France, and I mixed it in this wonderful little mixer that Saint-Germain will be happy to sell to you. It has on the side here all of the components that you would put in this Saint-Germain Spritz and exactly how much you need to have in it. So you pour it in there, you pour it in your glass, and voila. So that's what we're about to do. There's club soda, Saint-Germain, and white wine in this drink. So there you have it. You top it off with a lemon. And voila, mes amis, pour vous, à votre santé. Oh, that does not even need bubbly. So let me tell you. Let's talk a little bit about Saint-Germain, the liqueur itself. It is a liqueur that started in 2007. I'm going to post from their actual website so you can read up all about it, but I'm going to highlight for you what you'll see in that post. The liqueur is made by macerating, grinding up, and distilling. They say at least 1,000 elderflower petals per bottle. And this is the time of the year that the elderflower petals need to be picked because they're in bloom, and they like to do it very quickly. They pick them in the morning when it's cool, and by night they've already started to make them to infuse the flavors that come from these wonderful elderflower petals. So this drink is named after a region in Paris, which for literally centuries was a center of culture and free thinking and free spirits. And that is a place in Paris, which I happened to visit a long, long time ago, a little section of the city called Saint-Germain-des-Prés. So for those of you that follow soccer, you know also about Paris Saint-Germain. So that's a very popular name and a popular place in the city of Paris and throughout France. So that's where it gets its name, and as an homage to that section of the city. And it comes in this wonderful, iconic bottle I'll tell you now, it goes for about $35. You can get a 375 milliliter. It doesn't matter. It depends how fast you're going to use it. The flavors, let me give you the flavor profile that it imparts, and then we can go on to making my new favorite house cocktail for you. But the drink itself imparts, when they make this concoction with the elderflower petals, it imparts some pear. For those of you that love pear, you're going to love this. You drizzle this over a pear, like a pear tart. It would be absolutely fantastic. Pear and honeysuckle and very floral. And it's sweet, but not in a cloying way. It just adds that. When I talk about the drink I'm going to make, it replaces something in that famous drink that you'll be very surprised to hear. I knew about it, but I didn't know about it. And to be honest with you, this is a drink that I've started to get into recently. So with that said, I don't want to waste this one. I'm not going to guzzle this one, but this is a nice springtime, summertime sipper, club soda, white wine or bubbly. A little bit of this, and it tells you the parts that you need. You can go read the recipe if you don't have one of these little jiggers to pour it in. It's like pear juice almost, unsweetened pear juice. And the white wine that you use in there should just be very gentle. A Chablis is a very gentle white wine. They say to use a champagne. That would add a little bit more of that apple and pear flavor to it. So anytime you want to do a Saint Germain spritz, gather your friends together and have a couple. They're a very, very fantastic, nice sipper to have. But for now, I'm going to set that aside. And one of the things that I want to highlight for you is when you buy a bottle of Saint Germain, you'll usually get this little booklet. And I always let the booklet on it. Sometimes the bottle might not have it, but I had one and I never throw this away. If I don't get one, I take it from the old bottle and put it on here. And if you flip through here, it tells you all about the way Saint Germain came about. They show you this. If you're into plants, the plant is the European elderflower, or Sambucus nigra, and it's the first liquor in the world that's been picked from elderflower, from hand-picked elderflower blossoms. And I said it in 2021. I'll say it again today. You're going to see some imitators, and they're cheaper, and they are not. They're not as good. You're not going to get the same bang. You're going to get it cheaper. It's just not going to be the same. Because I did that. I tried to save some money, and I was sorry I did. So this little booklet then has in it a number of cocktails that they recommend. The first one they recommend here is this one called the Saint Germain cocktail, which I told you all about. But very quickly, if you don't have this contraption, it's 2 shots of your wine, a shot and a half of Saint Germain, and 2 shots of sparkling water or club soda. So it's 2, 1.5, 2 parts. If you want to make it double, and then you can just double that ratio. They also have something called the pear martini, where you mix this with pear vodka and lime juice. Sounds pretty good, and I don't even like that. Then there's one that's coming up. I'm going to skip it because that's what I'm going to do last. Then there's one that's also called this. It's just called the Saint. It's Saint Germain, gin, and tonic water. So you're throwing this in as kind of the mixer to upgrade your gin and tonic. And that brings us then to the drink that I want to make right here before your eyes that has become my new house favorite. And it is, let me read right from the list here. They call it the Saint Germarita. Saint Germarita. And it is basically Patron tequila. I love Patron Blanco, so that's the one I'm going to use. You can use whatever Blanco you want. You're going to use Patron. It's the simplest cocktail to make. This is why I love it. Because Doc G, I do not like 6 ingredients and going around like I'm cooking a meal. I want my drink in the mixer, shaken, boom, in the glass, and I want to start sipping. That's why I love martinis and Negronis. Real simple. So let's follow the recipe as we're supposed to. So the first thing you need is your glass or your shaker, which I've already pre-filled with ice. And you start with your tequila, and it says 1.5. I'm going to make a double, same ratio, because I could like to sip these for a long time. So I'm going to put 3 ounces of tequila in here. No fear, I'm not going anywhere, and I will sip this for a long time. Love the smell of that tequila. So that's your Patron Blanco tequila. You do not have to use that. And then it calls for a shot and a half of Saint Germain. So that means that we need the same ratio. We need 3 ounces of the Saint Germain. And just for, this is an alcohol bomb, this one, just for your purposes, I believe this is 20% ABV. It might be more. I'll find it for you in a minute. Do not want to mess this drink up. And then for good measure, a little whatever. They say fresh lime. I don't, this is fresh from a lime, so it's good for me. You need 1.5 ounces of that. Pour it in. Voila, you're done. But you're not done yet. So they tell you to shake vigorously. That's vigorously enough for me. I like my glass a little chilled. You can salt your glass. I do not prefer that salt. Pardon my hands, but I'm the only one drinking this. Fill it with ice. The colder, the better. Always with cocktails, it's nice to have a chilled glass. Doesn't have to be frozen. Put that back. Pour. Set aside. Garnish with a lime wedge. And voila. Mexico meets France. This is fantastic. Now, you know, a typical margarita would sub out the Saint Germain for Cointreau or some orange concoction. It could be, I used Salerno, the blood orange liqueur from Spain. You could use triple sec, Cointreau, triple sec, Salerno. Patron actually makes something called citronge. That's their own concoction that you can put in here as well. Anything with an orange base would work. Any one of those orange type liqueurs that you find for a regular margarita. And then your lime juice. And then you have to have a little simple syrup. You don't need any of that here. This is 3 ingredients. The Saint Germain margarita, or as they call it, the Saint Germarita. My friends, this is a fantastic drink. I'm going to post the Saint Germain website where you can find the recipe for this and the recipe for all of the other Saint Germain drinks. You can read up on Saint Germain, this wonderful springtime cocktail. If you have not, it is so versatile. It's worth the money that you're going to spend on it. I highly recommend. I don't even work for these people. I highly recommend that you go out. Start with a 375 milliliter if you have not tried it. If you love tequila and you love a margarita, you're going to love a Saint Germarita. Trust me. So until the next time, à votre santé, à la prochaine, mes amis. That's so good.